Hey guys, it's Ranger Megan out at Hunting Island. I know I'm a little early, but we just want to get this dolphin out here splashing around in the creeks. Doing a lot of tail flapping and such. He's fishing. Hey guys, how are y'all? I know I'm a little early, but I just want to show y'all this dolphin going through the creek before we start our crabbing program. Turn around. Hey guys, the dolphin's a lot more interesting than me. He's going down the creek. Was doing a lot of, there he is. He's fishing. Kind of doing what we're trying to do, but we're trying to crab. He's way down the creek now. Hey guys, we're getting more people on here. We'll start crabbing soon. It's Ranger Megan, and I've got Caitlin here helping me. Hey guys, we've got the tide. It's coming in a little bit. That dolphin is gone. All right, I'm gonna give the camera to Caitlin. Caitlin is gonna be my helper today. Can you guys see me? Hear me good? Okay, we'll position you around this way. We'll wait a few more minutes. If the dolphin comes back by, I'll definitely pan over to the dolphin because that's way cool. Shouldn't be too long because that creek doesn't, it's not too deep. So, but the tide is coming in, and I promise you, the dolphin knows what it's doing. She'll probably come back this way. For those of you that have joined us, how many are we at, Caitlin?
We are at 256.
Sweet. Welcome back to Hunting Island. If you saw me before, I had a bunch of reptiles. Today, hopefully, we'll have a bunch of crustaceans for you. There's a plane going over, so if you guys can't hear me, probably some sound issues. We'll wait a sec. So we'll kind of pan the camera. Where you're at right now is Hunting Island State Park. This is at the Marsh Boardwalk. A lot of people come out here when the park's open. They crab. You can fish out here, watch dolphins. I think I've seen about 10 species of birds. And I actually got out here around probably 8:30 to set these traps for you guys. We've got several different kinds of traps, hopefully to get some cool critters. But today we're gonna focus mainly on crabbing. So we'll wait probably one more minute or so. How many we got now, Caitlin?
304.
Sweet, welcome guys. I'm Ranger Megan. I did the reptile one a while back ago. We're gonna be crabbing with you guys. Hopefully our dolphin friend will come back. If you guys want to review that later, if you missed it, the dolphin's at the very end of or very beginning of the video. We started it a little early, so sorry guys. But before I forget, we are looking to get our Facebook Live videos hopefully on YouTube. So you guys have seen Rose Hill, Myrtle Beach, Huntington Beach, Sam at Edisto. You've seen all of them, and hopefully we'll get them on YouTube so everybody can watch them, not just people that have a Facebook. So we'll kind of go ahead and get started with the official program. Sorry, I'm watching that dolphin. It's kind of like squirrel. Oh, here's another dolphin. It's going to be a dolphin program, not a crabbing one. So the dolphins are coming into the creeks. The tide's coming in, so they're able to come in here. It probably was only about maybe 3 feet, but as you notice, she's coming up saying hi to you guys. This is a bottlenose dolphin. I'll take the camera, and if she'll come up here, I've got a crab pot where that rope is. Where'd she go? think she's over there. Sorry guys, we'll get to crabbing in a minute. Oh, there she goes. So we've got 2 dolphins back towards that creek. Hey Susan. Hey Miss Pam. Hey everybody. How are y'all doing? There she goes, down the creek. All right, the dolphins are, I do want to jump in with her, Martin. I would love to. She's doing her own thing though. She's going to get some fresh seafood, which hopefully we're about to catch. I'll give it back to Caitlin now. All right, dolphin's stealing my thunder here. We're gonna try to crab now. All right, so this is something you guys can do at home. If you have, say a pier or some raised platform like this. I'll show you guys another way to crab as well, but this is really popular, what we do out here at the Marsh Boardwalk. So what this is this is a 2-ring drop bottom net. This is mainly what we're using to catch crabs today. So ideally, when you put this in the water, you're gonna lower it. We have the weight on there to kind of counteract the current and whatnot. You're gonna lower it all the way down. If you don't lower it enough, see the tension on the line, you're gonna feel that, and you're gonna know you're not on the ground. So you want it all the way on the ground, so Mr. Krabs can go in there, eat what you got, hopefully a nice chicken neck, which I will demonstrate for you guys. Unfortunately, you won't have me when you do this. Oh, I already have some rope. So what you'll need for bait is a good, nice piece of chicken. Ideally, you want some stinky chicken, so if you can stand it, if you can leave this out in the sun for a day and put it in the net, crabs love it. They're drawn to the scent. So one important thing to do is you want to tie this in here. Why? Because Mr. Krabs will run off with it. Then you won't have any bait in your net. So a lot of people just tie it in. You can use zip ties as well. All right, so you got your bait tied and you've got your rope. So what you'll do is you'll come over here. Let's see if we have enough water, Caitlin. Oh yeah. You're gonna drop it all the way down. And you'll notice our water's a little kind of cloudy, soupy. That's normal around this area. By any means, our water is not dirty. It is full of life. So if you go to the Caribbean and you see pretty clear water, we all like that water, I do, but there's no life in it. So what you're seeing out here, you're seeing phytoplankton, you're seeing zooplankton, and that would be little baby fish, little baby crabs. So that's why our water is soupy. It's a plankton soup, if you will, full of life. So with that being said, we have our crab trap set. Make sure that you have this set up here. I put this in here so it wouldn't move, but ideally you'd wrap it around and make sure it wouldn't fall off. You can use a stick to kind of fasten it, but so that's the 2-ring drop bottom net method. I heard the dolphin.
Something just jumped right over there.
I know. We also, like I said, I have some crab traps set out here for you guys that I put out earlier.
Remind them again which park we're at.
We're at Hunting Island State Park. We're at the Marsh Boardwalk. So if you guys are just joining us, I was a little early. Go back and watch the dolphin footage. It's really cool. Hopefully they'll come back. But we are at Hunting Island State Park, the Marsh Boardwalk. So if Caitlin goes that way a little bit, you can actually see Hunting Island. That is the back side of Hunting Island. And then if Caitlin pans this way, that is St. Helena. So those of you guys that are on St. Helena, hello. Oh, dolphins are over there. Heard them. That's all St. Helena. They're building a new bridge over there. That's harbor. And Fripp would be kind of behind us. So, yep. And another method of crabbing, I call this the suntan and read a book method. It's great to get a tan, or in my case, a burn. This, however, is a more interactive method. This is a crab line. So what you would do, I'm not going to do this today because I'm on a pier. I'm on a lifted pier. You would go to the bank, on a muddy bank. You would put the chicken neck on this spear. You would throw it out into the water, and then you would slowly reel this rope in, and your counterpart would be there with a net, scoop the crab up, and that's how you kind of do that. It's a lot more work, fun, however you want to do that, but I like it. It's fun. It's just a lot more interactive. And when you're out here, make sure you have water, make sure you have sunscreen. This morning I needed bug spray. The gnats ate me alive. So just make sure you have all those things when you come out here. But this method is more like doing it off a dock or a pier. Alright, we're going to check one crab trap that I've had out here for a little bit. Caitlin will come around. You guys can come over my shoulder. So remember what I said about the muddy water? It's not gross water, it's full of life. So, and we don't have anything in this net. Everybody see, we've still got the chicken neck. So when you bring them up, make sure your chicken's still attached and you still have some chicken. So we'll put that back and we'll check that again. And I have placed some minnow traps for you guys as well. I know that wasn't in the description, but I thought you guys would like to see it since some of you guys are quarantined and stuck at home. Oh yeah. Alright, what's in the minnow trap? We've got some dog food. That's what that stuff is. But we also have some minnows. We've got some shrimp in there. See them all popping. Let's see. We've got a little pinfish there. Oh, the dolphins are coming back. While I get this open, Caitlin, if you don't mind panning to those dolphins. They're coming around that creek bend, guys. So again, these are bottlenose dolphins. You're at Hunting Island State Park. See the two fins? They're coming up to say hi to you guys and remind you to wash your hands, stay 6 feet apart, all that good stuff. Where'd my fish go? Yeah, y'all keep watching the dolphins. Oh, we've got some interesting fish.
We've got a question.
Yep, question.
Can you crab with crab traps year round, and is a license required for kids?
Good question. So you can crab year round. As you guys watch the dolphins, you can listen to me. You only need a license if you have more than 3 drop bottom nets. So if you have more than 3 2-ring drop bottom nets, you'll need a license. If you only have 2, you don't need one. So when you guys are out here crabbing, hey guys, y'all wave to the dolphins. They don't require really any, oh, we lost a fish, license. The best time to crab, this time of year, you're gonna get soft shell crabs, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. I do have some special guests for you guys that I caught earlier. The best time to crab though is probably in the fall. The crabs are bulking up for their winter weight, and you get really big crabs. This time of year you'll get soft shell because they're trying to mate, and they have to be in soft shell form to mate. Alright guys, we're gonna go to our minnow trap. We got a shrimp. You guys see him? He's a little clear guy. This is a baby. So you get a lot of these in minnow traps. We'll set them free. You guys can see his antenna. They're really long, but whoop, he's popping. The shrimp's popping. And we've got some minnows. Ah, sorry. Some minnows here. So this is a really good way to get bait. A lot of people use it, a bait or a minnow trap for bait. So what happens is the minnows go through this hole on either side. I'll show you how it works if you want to play with this while you're out crabbing one day. Any more questions while I'm fiddling with this?
Not yet. Well, we have a question. Any eagles?
eagles, I have not seen eagles. Right now, osprey are king. So the eagles kind of come in fall. We have seen eagles on the park. We have an eagle nest by the campground. But I have not personally seen any eagles today, but I have on the park before. Shrimp down. All right, we'll put that back. Bye, guys. All right, we'll check another crab trap. Whoop. I've got too many crab traps out here. All right, everybody see this one? And you guys can hear me okay? Everybody good with the sound? I don't think there's too much wind out here. We're getting eaten by gnats, so at least you guys are home. Nice in your lazy boys watching this. We've got a chicken neck. Nothing there. Sometimes you get some, sometimes you don't. And one more net that we'll talk about what you can crab. This one you do have to have a license. And the crab trap has to, you can't leave the crab trap out more than a day because things might get stuck in it, like diamondback terrapins. And diamondback terrapins, if they get stuck in the crab trap, what I'm about to show you, you'll understand they can drown in it. So it wouldn't be a good thing. Alright, so you guys can see my crab pot. Oh, we got a crab on the outside. Ah! He fell.
The one that got away.
The one that got away. But we'll bring it up to show you guys how this contraption works. So like I said, if you're going to use one of these, this is kind of what commercial crabbers use. And what happens is, you put bait in the middle. Again, you want to use yucky smelling fish or crab. So that's been in there a day, so it smells really good. And ideally you want it to kind of sit like this. So these orange things, they're called TEDs, turtle excluder devices. So hopefully the crab can fit in here, but a diamondback terrapin would not be able to. So that kind of prevents the terrapins from getting in there and drowning. Because if this net is, say, lost or say it breaks off somebody's crab line, the terrapins, you know, they won't be able to get in there. So we put those turtle excluder devices on there. And ideally, if you have crabs in there, you'd go in here and get them out. But we were skunked. However, fear not, I know the games of crabs play, and I got some for you guys. So let me go get one. They're pretty feisty. They're fighting. Yo. Woo! Kind of like a rodeo, you know? I'm gonna cheat. So when I step up, this is how I get the crab. So if you guys are watching, if you get a crab on the dock, say like this, and he's walking around, and you don't want to get pinched, don't step on them hard, but just very lightly. This is how I get them. And I grab him by their claws. He's mad at me, spitting water at me. And you grab him like this. So this is what we're looking for, and what we are supposed to be catching. This is the blue crab. The scientific name is Calanectes sapidus. So if you can remember, Cali means beautiful, nectes means swimmer. So beautiful swimmer. Anybody guess what sapidus means? I'm gonna let y'all guess. See how many guesses we get. You get any guesses?
Not yet.
Sapidus. Latin. Any Latin teachers out there? Any guesses so far? Sapidus. Beautiful swimmer. And
Oh, pincher, LOL.
you're
Blue.
Blue, no. Sapidus. What? Who likes to eat blue crabs? Caitlin says yes. I know how to catch them. I don't eat them.
Blue as in sapphire.
That's pretty good. That's a good.
That's
guess.
actually a really good guess.
That's a really good guess. So we're gonna cheat, and I'm gonna tell you. So Calla, beautiful, or Callie, beautiful. Necties, swimmer, beautiful swimmer. Sapidus, tasty, sweet meat. This is a delicacy for some of you guys. Some of you guys love soft shell. I have tried it. I won't knock it till I try it, but I have tried crab, and it's not my cup of tea, I'll say that. So I'd rather have like redfish or flounder. So, but a little bit about these guys. This is a male. If you look really close at his underbelly, sorry dude, you'll notice he's got a interesting looking shape on the bottom. We're going to be patriotic and say it's the Washington Monument. So males have the Washington Monument on the bottom. There's really not much difference on the top either, except for males have all blue pinchers. You guys see the pinchers, how pretty that blue color is? If you put your finger in there, it would really hurt. I've been pinched by them before. It doesn't feel good. These don't feel good either. But that's their way of saying, hey, you probably don't want to eat me. But the ladies paint their fingernails red, and I will show you guys a female in a second. This is a very stout male. The males, they keep growing. The females actually stop at the last molt before they mate, or after they mate, that's their last molt. Anybody guess the crab's lifespan? We'll do that. You guys tell me a lifespan of one of these guys, and we'll keep going with blue crab biology, and we'll come back. So crabs, decapods, deca meaning 10, so they have 10 sets of legs. Now you'll notice on the bottom, these little guys, the swimmerettes, that's actually how they get the name beautiful swimmer. These are swimming crabs. These guys can swim all the way up into the water column at the very top. So they use their little swimmerettes as paddles. They also do a nice little dance for the female. He's too mad to do one right now. But
we got a couple of guesses on the lifespan.
Okay.
We got 5 years or 3 years. That's
Any
it
more
so
guesses?
far.
So the average lifespan of a blue crab
Until they are cooked.
until they're cooked. That's a good one. The average,
7 years.
the
2
average
years.
lifespan is 2 to 3 years. Gotta get pinched. This is a very big male. The males get around 7 to 8 inches. So if you are crabbing, a good rule of thumb, or good thing to take with you, if you have these DNR legal size sheets, the crabs have to be 5 inches from point to point. When I say point to point, these points on the crab. So we're going to measure him, and if you look, he's well over 5. So he's a good eating crab. You can actually eat the legs as well. So you guys that said 2 or 3 years, you got it. They don't have a long lifespan. And then they go into your pots and you cook them and you have a nice meal. We'll get a female out. Look at his angry face. This is, I think we named this one Patrick. This is Patrick. Say hello, Patrick. Hello. So Patrick is going to go back in with his friends. He's going to do his little dance. And that's a good way to remember the 5 inches. If they are not 5 inches, you have to put them back in the water immediately. All right, Mr. Patrick. There you go. All right, crab rodeo. All right, we'll get a female this time. Like I said, I just caught these before you guys came on my... Ma'am. Are you? Oh, wow, we got a feisty one here. Easy. We got a feisty one. This must be Peggy. We named them Peggy and Pearl. This is Peggy. All right, let me get her. Yeah, so y'all can see me. All right, this is a female crab. Females, the only way you can distinguish them from the top is if you look at their nails. The ladies paint their fingernails. So the ladies have this red color on the tips of their nails, or their pinchers. So the only thing that the pinchers really do, they help them eat. So they do this number when they eat. And they're for defense. So they're able to defend themselves. Ooh.
Oh, well.
All right, so good time to talk about that. Blue crabs can actually let go of their claws if they do feel threatened. But unfortunately for her, until she molts next, she cannot use her claws or anything. She's defenseless now. So it's kind of a last resort ditch effort. But what we'll do with her, we'll probably keep her in our tank at the nature center until she grows her claws back, or when she molts again, and then we'll let her go. But what I was gonna say before she ripped her claws off, now I have she can't hurt me at all, the pinchers. But if you guys notice their eyes are on stalks, so she can actually put her eye in for protection, and those can see 360 degrees. So she's really keen on their surroundings. They have pretty good vision, probably a lot better in the water. But blue crabs can actually see UV. So on the bottom, this is a female. This is the Capitol building. Again, we're being patriotic. The females have this apron, nice apron shaped. And when they're soft shell, I'm not hurting the crab, so no crab was harmed in the making. This opens up, and that's where she stores all her eggs. So when she does have an egg mass, the eggs will form in here. And we're gonna do another guessing game. How many eggs do you think one female blue crab has? Any guesses when she does have an egg mass?
No guesses yet.
So when they do have an egg mass, it's a big old spongy looking thing on the bottom. It's very noticeable. They call them sponge crabs. So female crabs are actually called sooks as well. The male crabs are called jimmies. But this is a sook, and when she has eggs, they're a real bright orange color because those are new baby crabs, and she just had them. As they grow, it'll take about 2 weeks for the eggs to mature, and then once that happens, the egg mass will turn black. So
we got a few guesses now.
Yeah, a few guesses.
We have 200, 300, 20, 45, 100.
All right. So you guys that said 200, add a million to that. 200 million. So these guys have that many eggs at once. So they have to do that because only about probably 12 will make it to this size. And like we said earlier, 2 to 3 years is max for these guys. So when you do go crabbing, a lot of people don't keep the female crabs at all because they want to make sure the crab population is good for future generations.
We've also got another question.
Sure. Shoot.
Is it best to use crab nets or lines at high tide, low tide, or in between?
Usually a slack tide. So when the tide changes, that's the ideal time to go crabbing. So ideally for the drop bottom nets, you guys would want to use that at high tide. Well, when there's water, because those nets you need some water. And the important thing about the crabs, if you're going to eat them, they have to be alive, unfortunately, when you boil them. I know it sounds a little cruel, but if you eat crabs, if they're not alive when you boil them, you could get really sick. So make sure that if you're out here and you have, and you're crabbing, you either have a cooler with ice, or you can use a bait bubbler. So that's what we have. Unfortunately, mine's not battery operated, but they do sell them. You could just throw them in a bucket and use a bait bubbler because they constantly need oxygen over their gills. So a lot of times these crabs will bubble. Let me see if I can get one to bubble. Hello. But yeah, just when you guys use the other method, the not the suntan method, but the retrieval method, that probably needs to be done probably on an incoming tide. Whee! All right, I have been asked which ones hurt the most. I will say and tell you that it's usually this size. These guys hurt a lot because the pincher is smaller and it doesn't get as much. It doesn't have as much the pincher smaller. It's able to get you. The big ones don't have a lot of leverage. But
we have a question.
Yeah, question.
Her 6-year-old, his 6-year-old wants to know, where do they lay their eggs?
Where do they lay their eggs? They are, once they form in her abdomen, they're actually released into the water column. So these guys start out as little tiny zooplankton that are released in the water column. Did I say 200 million eggs?
Yes, you did.
I did. It's 2 million. That's a lot. So sorry, let me back that up. It's 2 million eggs. But yeah, they'll be released in the water column. And like I said, when you see a sponge crab with an orange egg mass, she just laid those eggs and they still have the yolk. As the embryos grow, they eat the yolk and they turn black. So what you're seeing is the actual eye spot on the crab, just that many.
And how many can you catch at one time?
Oh gosh, I've caught like 6 in one crab net before and a flounder. So the cool thing about this, guys, you can catch a flounder. I've caught a spadefish. I've caught an oyster toadfish. But this is what your ultimate goal is the crabs. You can catch stone crabs too. Stone crabs, you don't eat the carapace. This is what we call the body of the crab, the carapace. The stone crab, you actually rip off the bigger of the 2 claws and then you throw them back. Blue crabs are not that way. So I'm gonna let you guys decide if we need to keep this guy. We're gonna go over to the measuring. And what do you guys think? Is he 5 inches? I don't think he's quite 5. What you guys think? I think he's too small. So this would be too small of a crab to keep. So what we'll do is we'll throw him back. I actually just caught him. And I can tell you he's probably getting ready to molt soon. Molting is how they grow. So what they'll do is they'll get into the soft shell form. They'll break off this old claw or this old carapace and kind of back out of it. And they'll have a new shell and it'll harden in about 2 to 3 days.
We've got lots of questions.
I'm gonna throw this guy back because he's too small. So all you do is throw him back. They just got a nice ride. Say cowabunga. I'll probably catch him in a minute.
Probably. All right. So, some questions.
Yeah, questions.
What is the limit on catching the crabs?
You know, I don't think there is a limit. You just have to go with the 5 inches. Usually the males keep growing, so males are a lot bigger than females. Females, once they molt for the final time at reproduction, that's their final molt, and they can't molt anymore and they can't grow.
Where do you catch stone crabs?
Stone crabs, right where blue crabs are. Blue crabs and stone crabs, pretty much anything you fish for in saltwater. All my saltwater people, probably in freshwater too though, like a lot of structure. So you want anything like the pilings and stuff with oysters. So anywhere blue crab or stone crab prey would be. So what do blue crabs eat? Oysters, other blue crabs, little crabs, snails, fish, pretty much anything. Blue crabs are pretty opportunistic or scavengers. So when I told you guys to use smelly bait, those guys are pretty much attracted to the smelly bait. So
You may not know the answer to this. Where is a good place to go crabbing in Charleston? But they said a resource would be fine as well.
Charleston, yeah, go on South Carolina DNR's website. I'm sure they have a bunch of Charleston sites. I am not familiar too much with Charleston. Beaufort, I'm pretty good at. But Charleston, I'm a little rusty. But let me check these crab traps, and if y'all think of any more questions, we'll do that, and then we'll leave you, and then you guys are gonna be crabbing experts, and you won't need me anymore, unless when we do get the pier back open. That's where we do our crabbing, and we had pretty good success with that, but it's pretty good out here at this time of
I've got one last question that I see right here. How big can their claws get?
that male that I showed you guys, that's pretty big for blue crab claws, and that would be what we're looking at. So we're gonna pull this one up, and oh, we got one. I think it's that one I just threw in. No, it wasn't. It was too small. So she was too small anyway, and I could tell it was a female because she had the red painted fingernails. So if you guys remember, the ladies paint their fingernails. And if you do want to use a minnow net, we'll pull that up so y'all can see it. Oh, mud. The best thing to use for that for bait is like cat food or dog food, just dry kibble. And what we got here, we got the same two fish, I think. They like dog food, so look kind of like gobies a little bit. But you come at the right tide, usually on a falling tide. This is kind of a bad time for a minnow net. I just wanted you guys to see, you know, sometimes we take these fish and feed them to our fish, or the gators. But I just wanted you guys to see what goes on. And it's cool for Facebook. Any more questions while I'm pulling these up?
We've got all sorts of questions.
Sweet.
Someone said, where in Beaufort is a good place to go crabbing?
There's a place, if there's any locals, the filling station across from the chicken shack, right there by that bank, the boat landing on Ladies Island. They just built a really nice, like crabbing dock. I don't think it really has a name, but it's right by the filling station on Ladies Island, just past from dockside.
I think it's called White Point Landing.
Is it?
I think so. And then we've got, where did you go to school to learn your job?
Actually, I hail from USCB in town, so the University of South Carolina of Beaufort. So go Sand Sharks. If we got any Sand Sharks watching, this one's got a bunch of mummy chugs in it.
Oh, wow.
So, I don't know why. I think these fish just like to eat. I don't blame them. I like to eat too. And they just like to eat dog food. But, we actually have a tank at the Nature Center that we'll put these guys in. But, for school, yeah, I studied biology at the University of South Carolina, Beaufort. And I graduated there, or from there, in 2010. So, yeah, I got my degree in 2010, and I started here in 2014. Actually, I will have been here 6 years on April 16th, so my anniversary is coming up. But these are some shrimp. I'll put them back. They like to pop. A little grass shrimp. Hi guys.
Got one right down here.
Some. Oh, come on, buddy.
He jumped ship.
You jumped ship. Whee! Come on. All right, and let me open it up for any more crabbing questions. Let me get a crab so you guys can see.
Someone said the boat landings are closed. Are we allowed to fish and crab there?
You know, to my knowledge, I don't think so. Check DNR's website though. Ow, got a hold of my boot. They would know. But yeah, any landings, I know. But hopefully, you know, we'll be able to go back to normal here shortly, and you guys can remember this knowledge. If you can't, we're right over there at the Nature Center. I'll be happy to help you guys out with a crab net, or if you buy a 2-ring drop bottom net, bring it to the Nature Center. I'll be happy to set it up for you and show you how to use it. But again, we got a little young male. We'll let him go. He's way too small. He's ready to pinch though. But yep, and his little swimmerettes on the back. Any more questions?
How big do blue crabs get?
The males can get around 7 to 8 inches. The females probably top out around 5 to 6. And it all depends on how much food is available. You know, how much the resource they have. But a lot of times, like I told you guys about soft shell, when you guys, if you do crab, the sponge crab, the one with the eggs, has to be released immediately because she has those 2 million eggs. But if you get 2 crabs, it's called a doubler. And those crabs, like I said, the female mates in soft shell form, and chivalry is not dead. The male will actually cradle her until her shell gets hard in about maybe 1 to 2 days. So if you get a doubler, that's what's going on there. He's kind of protecting her till her shell hardens again, because when they don't have a hard shell, they're very vulnerable and anything can eat them. If you eat this, it would really hurt. It hurts me just doing that, but the really pokey things, that really deters predators from eating them. And if they do lose, like this guy, if he loses an arm, he'll molt and he'll get another one back.
We have a kiddo that wants to know, do they have teeth?
Kind of, sort of. Their mouth is kind of, if you look at his mouth really closely, he's got a really complex mouth that can kind of tear stuff apart. So maybe like crab teeth, if you will. Not like human teeth, but they do have some teeth to kind of crush some stuff up. But I did also get, we're going to let this guy go. You guys say bye to Plankton. That's what we name this guy. The 2 females are Pearl and Peggy. So, bye Plankton. He's too small. Belly flop. I did want to show you guys this one. I actually caught on the way out here, just as a closing. This is a fiddler crab. This is not a blue crab. You'll see these as you walk out here on the marsh boardwalk. This is as big as they'll get. This guy I'm going to release, but this is a squareback marsh crab. And they're really good at climbing. If you watch, he'll climb on my clothes. But this is, a lot of people think these are baby blue crabs, but this is, they'll probably get a little bit bigger than this, but, ow, it's trying to pinch me. Your pinchers are too small. But, yeah, those are the fiddler crabs. We'll let him go too. Any more questions before I sign you guys off?
We have, do all crabs molt at a certain time of the month? How often do they molt?
It depends on the crab species. Blue crabs, if they're small, they molt a lot. Once they get a certain size, they really don't need to. Blue crabs are considered a predator that is necessary in an ecosystem, especially like this. So if you don't have blue crabs, you could get overpopulation of something like periwinkle snails, which are on the marsh stock somewhere. But if you have too many periwinkle snails, it could damage the salt marsh. So blue crabs are critical for things like that, keeping ecosystems in check.
What predators do blue crabs have?
Me and you. Pretty much that's one of their primary. But we've seen alligators eat them, fish when they're small. If they're in soft shell form, anything wants to eat crabs. But when they're in the larval stage, it's really hard for them to kind of get to that adult stage. So when you guys see a big crab, remember what we said, blue crabs only live 2 to 3 years. And how many eggs do they have? 2 million. Only about 12 of those will make it to adulthood. So they have to molt quickly. And again, when they're in the soft shell form, they kind of stay hidden, so nothing will get them. So, all right, I think I'm gonna sign off with you guys. I think it's probably been about 45 minutes or so, maybe an hour. I could keep going. Of course, when we open back up, you know, I'll be here. Caitlin will be here to answer your questions. Again, if you need help with any crabbing questions, we're at the Nature Center when we open back up. But yeah, just the videos, I think I told you guys, I may have earlier, but everybody watching, we're trying to get the videos from Facebook Live to YouTube so everybody can enjoy them, and everybody can learn how to crab. And we're gonna keep doing more. So we do them every day at 10. So y'all, we do historic house tours. We do all kind of walking in the woods and all kind of cool stuff. I've been watching them. So with Ranger Kathy and Stacy and Mike, all those cool people, Ranger Ann. But yeah, we'll keep doing them, and we promise we're working hard to keep the parks beautiful. We work hard every day, but we're looking forward to you guys coming back out, because that's what we love the most for people. We're kind of lost without people, so we like to talk to people, but we can still connect with you guys on here, and that's the great part of it. We can show you how to crab, so when you do get back out there, go crab and have fun with it. Get a tan. If you're like me, you burn, but take a good book out here and just immerse yourself with nature, and it's really fun. So I am going to sign off. Again, I'm Ranger Megan at Hunting Island. It was a pleasure to take you guys crabbing. I had fun. I didn't get pinched, so that's a winner in my book. Usually I get pinched. So, but again, stay safe, guys. Keep washing your hands. Keep doing the stuff that we're supposed to do. We miss you guys, and we'll keep up the hard work out here. And you guys take care.